Wait a second.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. We are now leaving closed session pursuant to state law, section 10-15-1, parentheses 2, limited personnel matters discussion on finance department. No decisions were made and no other matters were discussed. Mayor Snover voting aye.
Says Mayor Pro Tem Frye, voting aye.
Commissioner Lewis voting aye.
Austin Randall voting aye.
Mike Padilla voting aye.
Okay, thanks, folks. We're at item 10, Commissioner, City Manager, and Department reports. Start with Mr. Saavedra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What I do want to inform the City Commission and hopefully the constituents of Aztec, everybody within the 87410 zip code, is on Saturday there is a COVID drive-through clinic that is taking place at Cougar Middle School at 2 o'clock. Now, the requirement is you have to be 75 years and older, and you have to reside in Aztec zip code 87410. It's going to start at 2. You do not need to register. It's a first come, first serve. And actually, it is Care Drugs that is the one that's putting it on. So unfortunately, they only got 300 vaccinations to distribute with a first come, first serve. We're anticipating there's going to be significant demand, but if you can share and spread the word, we would greatly appreciate it, just so that we can get those that need the vaccination most vaccinated. And that's all I have to share, Mr. Mayor.
Sure. Mr. Gonnell?
I have nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Randall?
No report.
Commissioner Lewis? No report. Commissioner Padilla?
You know me, I just, Steve and I attended our COG meeting last week, and I don't know how Steve feels, but I'm almost thinking that's a waste of time. We don't live in Gallup, we don't live on that part of the state, and we get nothing out of it. So we sat through it, we both kind of agreed that I don't know about COG, especially for our part of the county, so. Other than that, that's all I have to report.
All right. It's kind of a common sentiment, so we can always, I guess, look into that as necessary, but thanks for the report. Mayor Pro Tem?
I went to my last San Juan County Partnership meeting. I put in 2 years, and they're doing just fine. Got some good grant money to continue drug and alcohol prevention in the county. So I'm glad that was my last meeting. Community Garden is moving along with, there's several committees that are putting things together. I'm serving on the Finance Committee. We had the Aztec Trails group decide that they really couldn't handle being the fiscal agent, but I possibly have someone else on board, and we'll be having a meeting with that finance group to discuss that option. And that's all.
Ma'am? I don't have much to report, but I do, I want to encourage spreading the word on this COVID vaccine clinic. I'm not sure, it's going to be interesting. Because from what I understand, just reading the flyer and sharing on social media, those sorts of things, I shared about them on my little Facebook mayor's page, and there's going to be, I figure, quite a few folks in there, and I believe that they are asking for some ID to show that you live in the zip code and that you and to have a Medicare card, perhaps as well. I don't want to, say that unequivocally, but that's just what I read on that little advertisement that I forwarded and shared on my Facebook page. But I do know that it is for Aztec residents, so they're asking for like the ID or the driver's license to verify, I believe. So If there's any changes in that, I'll do my best to communicate it out and vice versa, from the city staff, to make sure the webpage is up to date and all those sorts of things, and social media and so on. So, I think that's great news. I appreciate the fact that we're getting some of our most vulnerable population the vaccine. And we were supposed to get it to high school this past week, and something happened. It got canceled like the night before. With that, in that same vein, I was changing over to this link, and my Gmail is underneath this, and I saw an email from the superintendent. I didn't read it fully, but it appears that we are going to start integrating our students to in-person school sooner rather than later in the first part of February. So we're going to do a hybrid model, and I just very quickly reading it. The middle school is going to be, freshmen, 2 days, and so on, and they're going to come in a little bit before the upperclassmen at the high school, which is what I was kind of paying attention to as I teach there. So, that's sudden news. So, I don't know unequivocally what all that means, and I don't have all the details, so please don't ask. But I'm sure it'll be getting put out very soon to parents and things like that. So, I'm glad we're getting kids in. I'm a little nervous, honestly, but I'm sure we'll get through it and we'll figure it out. So we always do around here. So that's good news, because our kids are really struggling with this virtual stuff. I was teaching all day today, and I got like 50% participation just showing up to the beats. So hopefully, given that structure, they'll be a little better and salvage the rest of the school year. But with that said, that's all I really have for now. I appreciate everybody's efforts. I know it's hard. And once again, to the finance department, I want to say publicly, I appreciate everybody's work, and I know it's hard what they're doing. And me saying that isn't going to make it any easier, but know that we're here for you in any capacity that we can be. So I will open it up to any department heads that want to say any words or give a report. All right, I'm not seeing anybody unmute, so with that said, I'm going to go ahead and move to adjourn, 6:49 p.m. Thank you, everybody. See you in a couple weeks.
This conference is no longer being recorded.